Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to our latest explainer, where we're exploring the absolutely fascinating intersection of global food traditions and sustainability. Today, we're unpacking exactly how what's on our plates connects us to the rest of the world.
Take a look at this cover. Our entire journey today is drawn directly from Blazak's, Maverick's vibrant and insightful book, Culinary Harmony, Savoring Sustainable Gastronomy Across the Globe. It's just a brilliant look at how food bridges cultures.
Here's our roadmap for the explainer. We're going to take you on a sensory to global journey. We'll start with food as a universal language, track its evolution, step behind the scenes into the heart of the kitchen, explore savoring sustainability, dive into food diplomacy, and finally, look toward a harmonious culinary future. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The universal language. Food as the ultimate connector. Because, let's face it, food speaks to absolutely everyone, regardless of geography or background. The source material captures this beautifully. It says, "The act of breaking bread together is a gesture of shared humanity, transcending language and cultural differences." I just love that. It brilliantly illustrates how food acts as this powerful storyteller, one that bridges oceanic and cultural divides without needing a single translated word. And the cool thing is, the vocabulary of this universal language is built entirely on a sensory adventure. It relies on aromas. Think of the intoxicating spices drifting through a Marrakech market, or the rich scent of vanilla in a French patisserie. Then you have textures. Everything from the crisp crackle of a fresh baguette to the delicate silkiness of Chinese dumpling wrappers. And of course, flavors. That perfect balance of umami, sweet, sour, and bitter. Together, all these elements literally shape the identity of entire communities. Moving on to Section 2. Evolution and Innovations, Shaping the Plate. So we know food connects us, but how did this culinary language actually transform across history? Well, we can map it out. It starts thousands of years ago, with ancient roots, like those Greek symposia where dining was elevated to this incredible art form of intellectual discourse. Then, flash forward a few centuries, and global trade routes hit the scene, introducing entirely new spices and blending regional practices. Jump to the late 20th century, and boom, the fast food revolution completely changes how humanity eats. And finally, that brings us right up to the modern era with molecular gastronomy. Now, what's really fascinating here is how these last two eras completely contrast with one another. On one side, you've got the fast food revolution, right? It brought standardized menus, speed, convenience, global chains. It was all about making things ultra accessible. But on the flip side, molecular gastronomy is all about scientific precision and avant-garde artistry. Chefs are literally using complex chemistry in the kitchen. Techniques like spherification, which turns liquids into these little caviar-like spheres, or jellification to just completely blow up our expectations of what a meal's texture should be. Section 3. The heart of the kitchen, behind the scenes. We've talked a lot about the food itself, but who are the actual people driving all these wild innovations? Let me tell you, the dynamics of a professional kitchen are off the charts. It is an absolute pressure cooker of impossibly high expectations and super strict time constraints. But somehow, within all that intense stress, there's this teamwork ballet happening. Chefs, sous chefs, line cooks, they're all synchronizing their movements perfectly. And finally, there's this massive element of creative vulnerability. It takes genuine, raw, emotional courage for a chef to put their innovative, avant-garde creations out there for the dining public to judge. In fact, the source beautifully describes the dinner rush as the symphony of controlled chaos. Just picture this for a second. You've got the intense, blazing heat of the stoves, the rapid-fire urgency of orders being shouted out, the rhythmic, lightning-fast chopping of ingredients. It is a crazy high-stakes environment, but that intense pressure? That's actually what fuels the chef's passion and builds this completely unbreakable camaraderie among the team. If you find this analysis valuable, please like and subscribe to Knowledge Lighthouse to help us bring more truths to light.
Section 4. Savoring Sustainability, Protecting Our Palate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we're moving away from the intense heat of the kitchen and stepping right into the environmental responsibility of the farm-to-table movement.
There are 4 vital steps to this sustainable journey that we really need to understand. First up, it's about building direct, meaningful relationships with local farmers. Second, making a hard commitment to seasonal sourcing. This is huge for minimizing food miles and shrinking those carbon footprints. Third is adopting root-to-stem cooking. Think about taking something like carrot tops and turning them into a delicious pesto to drastically reduce waste. And fourth, fostering community connection through things like farmers markets and community-supported agriculture.
And you know, a massive piece of the sustainability puzzle is heirloom preservation. This is basically the effort to safeguard traditional indigenous crops to protect biodiversity against monoculture. We're talking about saving ancient maize down in the Americas or preserving traditional Himalayan grains. So it's not just about farming, right? It's about preserving our deep cultural history and building much-needed resilience into our global food system.
Section 5. The Power of Food Diplomacy, Bridging Nations. Let's zoom out for a second and shift the scale from our local communities all the way up to the global stage.
You might not have heard this term before, but gastrodiplomacy is absolutely fascinating. It's when nations actually use their unique culinary heritage to enhance their global image, build bridges, and foster international goodwill. It's literally about creating positive emotional connections through traditional dishes to help break down incredibly stubborn political barriers.
At the diplomatic table, an international feast serves a very real, very strategic purpose. Sharing a meal just softens the formality of political negotiations. It fosters open, human dialogue. When diplomats sit down and break bread together, they're acknowledging their shared interconnectedness. And that makes it so much easier to tackle massive, shared global challenges. Things like climate change, sustainable agriculture, and long-term food security.
Section 6. A Harmonious Culinary Future. What's next? This brings us to the big question. How do all these ancient traditions and wild innovations actually merge into the future of our food?
Well, the future of food is looking like a really fascinating hybrid. We're going to see a massive increase in smart appliances and the Internet of Things, like precision ovens that literally adapt to the ingredients you put in them. We're also going to rely heavily on sustainable certifications to ensure total transparency in our supply chains. Ultimately, the future is this amazing space where tech meets tradition. It's blending the brilliant efficiency of robotics and smart tech with the sustainable, grounded, centuries-old wisdom of local heirloom farming.
Which leaves us with this final, somewhat provocative thought. How will your next meal change the global narrative? Because every single choice you make, from buying local to minimizing your own kitchen waste, makes you an active, crucial participant in the global food system.
For the complete deep dive, own the paperback. Get your high-quality paperback edition on Amazon via the link in the description. Add it to your collection today. Please share this video and check the description for more.